Transitioning into a relatively new topic, I wanted to know what kept him going when he faced setbacks. His response to my question further reveals his truly inspiring mindset. I never looked at my mistakes, poor decisions, and downfalls as failures. I always used them as a learning opportunity. This statement highlights the simple fact that every step in life serves as a teaching moment, and dwelling too much on past mistakes only hinders your progress moving forward. My journey into First Sergeant's JROTC class was marked by a history of damage, abandonment, and self-destruction. For me, JROTC was a way to receive the structure that I needed, and it was in his capstone lessons that I found the guidance that would carry me through the tumultuous years of high school. Unlike others, First Sergeant didn't need to know my past to believe in my potential. He recognized my worth and made me recognize my own value. His powerful words and borrowed quotes, "You have to want it as bad as you want to breathe," they became my mantra, pushing me to strive for a brighter future and proving that I'm not a product of my circumstances, but rather the architect of my own destiny. In conclusion, the lessons that I've learned from First Sergeant go beyond military service. They apply to everyday life and my aspirations for the future. His journey, courage, and resilience serves as a powerful reminder that inspiration often comes from those who lead by example. As I began to write my own story, I carried with me the values he instilled in me, and the commitment to serve our nation with the same integrity and selflessness that he exemplifies. My ambition to become a Special Forces medical sergeant is not just a personal goal. It is a pledge to honor the sacrifices of those who came before me and to make a positive impact on the world. Thank you.
Ladies and gentlemen, now entering the gym floor are the members of the JROTC Coyote Guard Armed Exhibition Team.
Ladies and gentlemen, we are truly honored to have as our guest of honor Staff Sergeant Michael Nichols. Staff Sergeant Nichols had the honor of serving 22 years of federal service, which included 12 years in the Marine Corps and 10 years at the Department of Veterans Affairs. During his time in the Marines, Michael served as a Marine Corps drill instructor and senior drill instructor at Marine Corps Recruit Detachment San Diego, and as a platoon sergeant and platoon commander in Iraq. At the VA, Michael served as a Veteran Service Representative and Rating Veteran Service Representative, processing disability claims for veterans. During his time as a senior drill instructor, a movie director was embedded with him and filmed a Marine Corps recruit training documentary on his platoon, originally called Ears Open, Eyeballs Click, and later a new series was released called Black Friday, Dark Dawn. This documentary series is used by recruiters every day to help teach, prepare, and acclimate poolies for recruit training. Further, Michael went on to write a book called Prepare for Enlisted Boot Camp. Michael currently serves as the Director of Military Operations for F45 Training. F45 is a global fitness company with over 3,600 plus studios sold in 74 countries around the world. He developed their Veterans Impact Program to help service members with combat readiness and transitional readiness. As of today, he has helped over 1,000 plus service members convert their military experience into the fitness industry, placed F45 training studios on military installations, and has helped 20 plus service members get into ownership since being with F45. Michael has been married for 21 plus years, has 3 children, 2 grandchildren, has continued to serve the armed forces as an influencer for the past, the present, the future, as Staff Sergeant Michael Nichols. Staff Sergeant Nichols served in Iraq from 2006 to 2007, where he completed 27 plus combat missions. He became a convoy commander as an enlisted Marine, a position which is normally held for officers. From 2007 to 2009, he's owned and operated 10 convenience stores in Louisiana, which generated $49 million plus a year in revenue. From 2011 to 2019, he owned and operated a fitness company called MD18. 2009 to present, he's a co-owner of Moto Entertainment, and from 2019 to present, he's the Director of Military Operations for F45 Training. Please join me in welcoming Staff Sergeant Michael Nichols.
Good morning, West Creek High School.
Good morning. Good morning. I'm not going to stand behind the podium because that's not what I do. I had the honor of serving 22 years in the United States Federal Service, 12 years in the United States Marine Corps, 10 years in the Department of Veterans Affairs. But before I get into what I would like to share with you guys, if you are a veteran in this room, please come out in the middle of this floor, because we would like to give you a round of applause. This is why we're free. This is why we get to enjoy life, liberty, and justice for all. To the men and women that have served, we have served. We have sacrificed so much so that we can pass it on to the next generation. Without your sacrifice, we would not be the country that we are today. We're black, we're white, we're Mexican, we're Filipino, we're Asian, we're everything in between. And before I let these men and women go, let's give them a loud and motivated round of applause. You know, I've been fortunate in my my journey called life that I'm originally from Louisiana. I went to high school. I barely graduated high school because I struggled at something that was not important to me. In high school, I probably graduated with a 1.5. I just did the bare minimum to get out of high school. In retrospect, 30-something years later, I wish I would have applied myself a little more. I wish I would have gave a better effort, but that's okay. Because it's not about what I've done in the past, which is in the rear view mirror. It's about what I'm going to do in the future. Today we're here to talk about veterans and the power and the impact that veterans are having throughout the United States. Most people don't know this, but there's currently over 18 million of us that stood out here, that have sacrificed, and were willing to raise our right hand and take the oath of enlistment. Those 18 million plus service members have made a generational impact, so that way we may, as a country, we may not be as far as we want to be, but thank God we're not where we used to be. It's because the men and women are willing to come together and stand up. Black, white, Mexican, Filipino, Asian, Indian, everything in between. We're willing to stand in the gap between good and evil. We all have unique gifts and talents. And we as veterans have done our part. We have carried the torch for 4 years or 30 years, and then we have to take that torch and we have to pass it on to the next generation. The next generation, what does that look like? Well, the ones in this room that have already said, hey, I'm willing to step up between the good and evil, is the men and women that are standing above us, our guardian angels of the future. Let's give them a round of applause. You know, I'm here to not only talk about veterans, but I'm here to also break the stigma of when we think of veterans, we think of oftentimes those that are not as fortunate as some of us that get caught up, some of us that become homeless, some of us that become unemployed. I'm here to break that stigma. The United States veteran is one of the most powerful individuals you will ever meet, because we have a unique skill set to stand up, fight for good, represent others, and to make sure that the breath that we get to breathe every day is free. I want everybody to take a deep breath. Hold your breath. Everybody take a deep breath and hold it. And when you release that breath right now, say liberty. Let's try that again. That was terrible. Deep breath in. Blow it out and say liberty. Liberty. Take a deep breath in. Blow it out and say justice. Breathe it in. Say life. Now we're going to put it all together. Deep breath in. Everybody say life. Deep breath in. Liberty. Deep breath in. Justice for all. That is what the United States of America stands for. It is the most powerful, most efficient armed forces in the world. There's 2.3 million servicemen and women that are currently serving on active duty. If you are in this audience and your parents are currently serving in the United States military, stand on your feet. Let's give them a round of applause. Let me tell you some success stories of veterans. So most people will not know this, but I'm going to share some stats of the impact of a veteran that comes back out into our local communities and makes an impact. Sam Walton. He started Walmart and Sam's Club. After serving in the Army as an intelligence officer during World War II, he founded Walmart. Phil Knight. He founded Nike. He served in the Army, in the reserves, and co-founded Nike. Frederick Sims. He founded FedEx. Bob Carson. He founded GoDaddy. Jack Taylor. He founded Enterprise Rent-A-Car. Mr. Robertson's founded Baskin & Robbins. So every time you go get some ice cream, say thank you for your service. Robert Peterson, he founded Jack in the Box. Richard Kinder, World War II veteran, co-founded Morgan Kinder Buildings, infrastructure of the largest infrastructure companies in the United States. Dave Kent Linder, he founded Remax. And Alex Gorski, Johnson & Johnson. Those are just a few that I want to highlight here today. So there's this little boy that's walking down the beach one morning, skipping along, and he's excited about life. And there's thousands of starfish that washed up on the beach that day. Those thousands of starfish represent our servicemen and women that have served our country and have sacrificed what it is to stand in the gap between good and evil. And the little boy's walking around, skipping along, and he sees a service member that's struggling because he's out of the water. And the little boy reaches down and picks up the starfish and throws it back in the water. And he's skipping along, finds another starfish, another veteran that just needs a hand up, not a hand out. Picks it up, throws it back in the water. And an old man on the beach is walking along and says, "Son, what are you doing?" He said, "I'm saving the starfish." He said, "There's millions of starfish. There's no way you could possibly help them all. Some of them are dead, some of them are still living." He said, "Yeah, but I can help this one, throw it back in the water. I can help this one, throw it back in the water." The moral of the story is, in life, we cannot help everybody. Your coaches, your teachers cannot help you if you're not willing to help yourself. No one's coming to help except the people in your life. And what happens when most people in our lives, we give them our worst attitude, we talk back, we're disrespectful, and they're the people that love you the most. So we, as coaches, as teachers, as mentors, as leaders, we're doing everything that we can to find a starfish, you, and hoping and praying that you will become the best version of yourself. So we, as coaches and teachers and leaders and mentors and motivators, we're reaching down and we're saying, "Come on, you can get back in the fight. Don't try to quit, try to keep going. Failure is inevitable, progress is optional. If you want to go far in life, go by yourself. But if you want to go fast in life, bring other people with you. That is how you make an impact." I stand here before you 30 years after joining the United States Marine Corps. Not because I did something special. I was willing to humble myself, shut my mouth, be coachable, be teachable, and allow the people that went before me to help guide me through the process of life. We need to honor our coaches, our teachers, and those that are standing in the gap between good and evil so you do not hit the gutter in life. You have to give that honor. Because at the end of the day, this is your journey called life. And some of you guys that are sitting in this crowd that are not up there will eventually go from here to up there. And that is one of the most honorable things I've ever done in my entire life. Because I was willing to raise my right hand and say, I don't know what I'm doing. I just know that what I have today is not what I want in the future. I was raised in Louisiana was born, was in the trailer. I had no future, I had no hope. And a recruiter said, hey, what are you going to do with your life? I had no idea. I can tell you this, if you're sitting in the audience and you think the military is a worst case scenario, that is not the case nowadays. 76% of young men and women trying to join the military are denied enlistment for 3 primary reasons. Number 1 is high school education. Number 2 is being overweight or can't pass the physical fitness test. And number 3 is because we make a bad mistake in high school and we get a criminal background. So only 14% of you, out of 100, only 14 will get a chance to join the military. It is no longer a worst case scenario. This is not the 60s and 50s and 40s. We're some of the smartest, the fastest, brightest people in this world. And we're saying, you know something, I haven't figured it all out, but I'm willing to become an intern. Think about this. You serve in the military, you become an intern, you get paid as an intern, and they coach you, they teach you, they mold you, and they spit you out 4 years or 30 years later, and you're supposed to be smarter, faster, and better than you were when you joined the military. I'm not here to recruit you to join the military. I'm just here to inspire you to say, you know something, our veterans, first and foremost, are some of the best people that have ever walked the face of this earth. And number 2 is the next generation. We as veterans, we have carried the torch, and now we're passing it on to the next generation. But before I let you go, I want you to hear the oath that we as veterans have taken. This oath, if you would like to, and I would request that you join me, is I want you to listen to these words. These words represent that I am willing to lay my life down so I can be coachable, teachable, mentored, and become a better version of myself. I, Michael Nichols, do solemnly swear that I will support and defend the Constitution of the United States against all enemies, foreign and domestic. That I will bear true faith and allegiance to the same, and that I will obey the orders of the President of the United States and the orders of the officers appointed over me according to regulations, the Uniform Code of Military Justice, so help me God. Before I let you go, I just want to let you know it's an honor for me to be here. It's an honor for me to stand in the gap between good and evil. I am a veteran. I'm like your aunts, your uncles, your brothers, your sisters, your moms, your dads. We have carried the torch. It is up to you. If you're not happy with what you see in the United States of America, it is up to you to pick up the torch and run with it. Some of you will pick it up and you'll run and thrive. Some of you will run and pick it up for 4 years. Some of you will run and pick it up for 40 years. If you don't like what you see in this country, you have the choice to stand up. You can sit on the sideline or you can get in the game. When I was in Iraq in 2006, I was at church, I was doing combat missions outside the wire. I did 27 combat missions. My lieutenant got hit by 25 pounds of TNT and 35 pounds of TNT and 2 155 rounds. He hit an engineer bridge and blew his vehicle 30 feet in the air. Let's just say that was one of the worst days of my entire life, September 30th, 2006. Life happens. We can't change what's happened to us up to this point. But we can change the trajectory of our lives by allowing the coaches and the teachers and the leaders to mold you and mentor you and help you get on the path of being successful. My lieutenant was out the game. And they promoted me to convoy commander, not because I was the smartest, the fastest, the best person in the room. They promoted me to convoy commander for the next 13 combat missions. It's because I had the structure, I had the discipline, I had the willingness to be coachable and teachable. Us veterans, we've already been coachable and teachable. What does Veterans Day look like next year? What does it look like 10 years from now when you put on that uniform and you serve our country? My wife has never served in the United States military. She has no desire to serve in the military, but she has always been in support of the military. I'm not calling you to serve. I'm calling you to honor those that have served and find a way to support those that do serve. Her mom served 30 years in the United States Marine Corps. Her dad served 20 years in the Marine Corps. Her brother's in the Air Force for 20 years, currently in Germany. Somebody has to go. Why not me? Why not her? We were at the middle school yesterday at Fort Campbell, and she had a chance to share, everyone's not going to serve, but we can honor those that serve. We don't have to like them, but we need to respect them. That is what veterans stand for. We stand for those that don't have a voice. We stand in the gap, and we're believing that every single starfish here has a great future and an opportunity to change the world. Somebody in here can become the next vice president or president. But we have to get up and we have to grind. We have to put in the work. I told the middle school yesterday, do what you have to do so you can do what you love to do. What does that mean? I want to become a doctor, but you don't like math. Or you don't like English. That's just what you have to do to get to do what you love to do. West Creek High School, I just want to thank you for this opportunity. I pray that every single one of you will fulfill your God-given gifts and talents. And if you end up serving in the United States military, I pray by the grace of God that you have a successful service and you get out and you become the best version of yourself. Thank you.
At this time, our Regimental Commander Rachel Arnett and our Regimental Executive Officer Aiden Fox are presenting Mr. Nichols with a certificate of appreciation, as well as a JRTC Unit Challenge coin.
Thank you, guys.
Ladies and gentlemen, the JRTC Cadet Corps will now sing the Army song. Regiment, attention! The Army song! March along, sing our song, we're the Army of the free. Count the brave, count the true, who have fought to victory. We're the Army and proud of our name. We're the Army and proudly proclaim. First to fight for the right and to build the nation's might, and the Army was rolling along. Proud of all we have done, fighting till the battle's won, and the Army was rolling along. Raise high, high head, the Army's on its way. Come on with gains loud and strong. Wherever we go, you always know, and the Army was rolling along. Halt, rain, rest!
Ladies and gentlemen, we would like to recognize those who have served in the armed forces with a moment of silence and recognition. Though some cannot be here with us, you are forever in our hearts for the sacrifices you have made to earn distinction of veteran.
Thank you. West Creek High School is honored to have many veterans that continue to make an impact on the lives of our students every day. Faculty and staff, as I call your name, please make your way to center court. Andrew Alston, Army, 9 years. Juan Gutierrez Arroyo, Army, 20 years. Khalil Barlow, U.S. Marine Corps, 3 years. Stacy Calton, United States Air Force, 26 years. Jamie Collins, Army, 3 years. Barrett Crane, Army, 3 years. Army National Guard, 5 years. Joshua Farmer, Army, 24 years. Simone Henderson, Army, 6 years. Angela Johnson, United States Navy, 2 years. Brian Gelamo, Army, 20 years. Zebediah Jones, Army, 22 years. Justin Lance, Air Force, 12 years. Scott Luce, Army, 24 years. Daryl Luckett, Army, 21 years. Jonathan Newland, Army, 18 years. Daniel Rojas, Army, 12 years. Bill Shehai, Army, 20 years. Shamir Simmons, Army, 8 years. Mackie Slate, Army, 24 years. Gerald Steffen, Army, 5 years. Rachel Stevens, Navy, 4 years. Toby Vereen, Army, 21 years. Pamela Vertefe, Army, 8 years. Jeffrey Wallace, Army, 4 years. Nick Welfare, Army, 4 years. Jennifer Wright, Army Reserve, 4 years. Linda Zaragoza, Army, 6 years. Ladies and gentlemen, please join me in celebrating our West Creek veterans. Thank you.
One of the most tragic events in recent history was the attack of our nation on September 11, 2001. These events have prompted military action against terrorism across the globe. We thank those who continue to fight to keep us free from the tragic events of that day. To honor their memory, the string orchestra will play Simple Gifts. each year at Arlington National Cemetery. A color guard composed of members of each military services renders honors to America's veterans through a tradition-rich ceremony at the Tomb of the Unknowns. The president or his representative place a wreath at the tomb while burglar sounds taps. Taps is played by the military at burials, memorial services, and for the signaling of lights out at day's end, and to accompany the lowering of the flag. Ladies and gentlemen, please stand. Carrying the wreath today is Cadet Colonel Rachel Arnett. When a servicewoman or serviceman or woman is lost in battle, it is customary to arrange their boots, rifle, and helmet around the wreath. Surviving members of their until will gather around to memorialize their fallen comrades as we have displayed. This arrangement is known as the battlefield cross or battle cross. Present, arms. Order, arms. Ladies and gentlemen, please remain standing for the retirement of the colors.
Coyote Guard is respectfully requesting your permission to retire the colors. Sir! Permission granted. Thank you, sir! Order! Order! Colors, right! March! Order, order, march! Left wheel, march!
On behalf of Dr. Farrell, we would like to thank all who have served and continue to serve in the armed forces of this great country. To include the families of our service members, your service and sacrifices is recognized as well. If you are the spouse or dependent of a current or former service member, please stand at this time. Our ceremony concludes as the band will perform Patriotic Spectacular. Students, you will now report to your second period class.